Welcome to Insights into Insurance with Tom Sorensen of Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is educational in nature and not intended to be acted upon without first consulting the appropriately licensed professional.
Saturday morning here on KATE. Time for Insights into Insurance with Americana Insurance's Tom Sorensen. And Tom, good Saturday to you.
Good Saturday to you, Paul.
Now, last week, for those that maybe caught some of it, we were talking about the business owner's policy, or BOP, and
yes.
that was really eye-opening.
Well, and a lot of people that I talked to over the week said, hey, I heard your show. Even though it didn't really pertain to me, it was still very interesting. You know, so that's what these shows are for. It's not necessarily always going to capture every single audience member as far as hit them about what their life is about, but you know what? They can listen to it and understand what some of these things in insurance world are. So,
and it was great. And we talked all about the, of course, business owner's policy. Today's emailed question has to deal a little bit with that.
Okay.
And the question is from Scott. He's a local business manager. Hello, Tom. This last Saturday, I listened to your show on Kate Radio, and you discussed a business owner's policy. You stated that businesses should have a disaster plan. Can you expound exactly what that is and what it should involve? So, Tom, what is a disaster plan for a business?
Oh, Scott, you're talking my language right now. You can call it a catastrophe plan, a disaster plan. In my agency, we call it a business emergency plan. Basically, it's your plan to stay in business, okay? At Americana, many people might think that when they come to us that we're considered salespeople. Well, I don't really consider myself a salesperson. Yes, I do offer a product that needs to be purchased, but I consider myself to be more of a risk manager, okay? To be able to look at things, businesses, people's lives, and try to take their risk and transfer it somehow. And sometimes it's not just buying insurance is the transfer of risk, or trying to figure out a way to limit risk. Okay? So in my world, it's called a business emergency plan at the agency, or again, it could be a catastrophe plan or a disaster plan. The first thing that you would need to try to do, Scott, is make sure that you get a primary crisis manager.
Who's going to handle everything?
Who's going to handle everything or delegate everything, okay? The key is obviously you want somebody in authority. So in our agency, it is me, okay? I'm the agency director, co-owner. So I am the crisis manager, primary crisis manager. So what does that person do? They are the primary spokesperson for the emergency, okay? Now, what if I'm on vacation? Okay, I actually have set up a secondary crisis manager who would succeed me in that situation, okay? Because if I'm on vacation, let's say, I mean, I haven't been to Florida in years, but if I'm in Florida and all of a sudden there's a crisis, and someone needs to be here to take care of that. So that's secondary. Now, the key to either one of those positions is make sure that it's someone that's not part of the main guts of trying to get you back into business. Okay, and what I mean about that is maybe look at it as like if you're a general contractor for a construction company. Well, don't have somebody that's going to be building and hammering and as part of that spokesperson, because they're too important to try to get you to make it to get back into business. Make it so that it's somebody that is kind of a one that sees the whole process through, not one that's working on. Example, I got somebody here in my office that's going to work on the phones and the computers, okay? Because she has the better knowledge of those things. So that's one of those things, just so you know.
So find a cog of the business, but not one of the essential driving cogs that could throw something off, but
Right.
someone that is able to as you mentioned, see the whole picture when it comes to like risk mitigation in this case.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Okay, now you've said find people that you put in charge. So whoever the primary and the secondary. I'm guessing along with one of these emergency plans, Tom, that a business should also have some sort of phone list or like a calling tree so people know where to give this information.
Right. Okay. So right away on our business emergency plan is I have the first number to dial is 911. Okay. What could trigger that? It could be fire or whatever. Okay. Police, have the police phone number, which is 911, but you might want to have the business office, also the sheriff's office, the fire department's number. Okay. Have those listed on there. Okay. So then what I would say first is you got to recognize what are the disasters or the catastrophe things that could happen to my business. Okay, in mine, I got them listed as tornado, fire, flood, potentially blizzard, robbery, bomb threat, and cyber attack. Okay, I'm guessing there might be more, but we actually sit down with our employees and sit and fill this out and talk all these over. Okay, and so we put this together. Don't just do it, just the owner or the manager. Get your employees involved in the plan.
Makes it a little bit easier because they might recognize a vulnerability or something that could happen
that I might not even think about.
And we saw an example of this past week on Wednesday out in Dodge Center. Yeah,
and what a sad thing. But right away, I know that they had a command center set up, which now what is their command center? Well, obviously that was part of their business emergency plan, disaster plan right away. And I'm guessing that could be potentially command center have set it up as someone to talk to the media, someone to maybe help injured. I don't know exactly what
notify families.
Right, notify families, things like that. So kudos to them of setting that up so quickly.
And then, Tom, you mentioned this. You want to have everyone's inputs when it comes to putting together this plan. And we've got about 2 minutes or so before we got to take a break. What else should kind of go into that? Because if you're a business cluster, there could be other things too.
Oh, absolutely. And so the next thing that we have is our insurance carrier. Okay, we're insured with an insurance company. Imagine that, insurance agency having insurance, but we do. And so we want to get them notified right away. So then also you want to set up an emergency planning team. Okay, first of all your employees need to be part of that team. So then you designate who's going to be on that team, okay? So part of your staff, like ours, we have a claims member that's ahead of the claims, okay? Example, let's say we had a huge tornado come through the town and knocked out Americana Insurance also, okay? Well, we got somebody in charge that's going to take care of claims and figure out how are we going to get our claims done and taken care of. Now, for somebody else in a business, they might have someone that needs to be the main contact for the insurance, for them to get a hold of the insurance company so that they take care of that, okay? Phone system, okay? I have a staff member that's in charge of the phone system and our agency management system and our computers. How are we going to communicate? Okay, we're going to communicate and get the information out. So Americana Insurance is down. Okay, we're got this tornado that came through. Everybody else is wondering, well, how do I get a hold of? I'm going to be sending out mass emails to my clients. I'm going to get a hold of the TV, possibly radio, K Radio. Guess what? I'm going to get a hold of K Radio and Power 96 and the local radio stations, newspaper, and then also I'm going to get on Facebook, on our website, and then have some signage of where we relocated, things like that.
All right, Tom, we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 30 seconds, and we're going to continue to answer Scott's question about what is a emergency plan or a disaster plan that was referenced last week here on Insights into Insurance with Americana Insurance's Tom Sorensen.
You know that saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket? It doesn't make any sense. Try juggling 5 baskets full of eggs. You'll see what we mean. It's the same with insurance. At Americana Insurance, we say, go ahead, put all your eggs in one basket. Just make sure it's a darn good basket. You already trust us for farm and business insurance, so get the same great service for home, life, and auto. And if the eggs ever hit the fan, wouldn't you rather deal with one basket of insurance than 5? Americana. Give us a call at 377-2000 or just drop by.
Welcome on back into Insights into Insurance with Americana Insurance's Tom Sorensen. And if you are just joining us out of the break, we are talking to you today about a business disaster plan or disaster mitigation plan, or if any sort of thing that might befall your business. This is something that you should maybe have. 90% of people in businesses probably have some idea, but they don't have anything written down on paper. And Tom, we were just talking about, who to notify and who's going to be handling certain things when it comes to that. Now, besides notifying customers and notifying that business's insurance, who else should a business be in contact with when there is an emergency like that if something should befall the company?
Right, absolutely. And you said something key before, is someone might have this on top of their head. Okay, I can tell you, if something, a catastrophe happens, that is going to escape. Okay, poof. And poof, exactly. And you got to understand and think of the most stressful situation that you could be in, and then you're going to have to try to think of something off the top of your head. I don't know about some people can probably do that. I don't know, but I can tell you I wouldn't be one of them. So that's where if you have this in place and you say, oh, I got to go to that, I have it. Obviously, you don't want to locate it in your office where it can burn up, but you need it probably electronically filed so that you can reach it if something were to happen, like a fire. Okay. So in my business, right away, the first supplier that I'm going to be contacting is my computer carrier, our technicians. And so because without those, I just can't run a business, okay? I need to look up policy information. I need to look up and have talking back and forth with my companies. So they're the first ones that are going to be the ones being contacted, okay? And if I got to set up into a different location, temporary location, they need to be able to hook me up in that temporary location to get going. And that's the other list, is have a list of potential people that could offer you vacant office space, okay? Have that in mind. Have it written down, okay? I got about 4 places that I got written down, okay? The next one is my printer copier, which is very important to my business. Then also I have my phone system carrier, my internet provider written down, my office supplies person, the electrician. Now it could be a contractor that needs to build something quickly for somebody to get up and running. I also have a vendor that does all my marketing and marketing communication. That person will do mass Facebook, mass emails, mass put things on my website to say, this is what's going on with Americana. You can contact them at this phone number or email or whatever, okay? Or they're relocated at this address, okay?
These are all things, of course, this is just Tom and I just talking. Make sure you see a professional when you want to set up your own emergency plan. Chances are, if your business, a bank wants to see this, it's going to help you out with certain loan conditions. Your insurance agent wants to see this too, right, Tom?
Yeah, many things. Not only is it good for you, it's a peace of mind that you have, but yeah, if I was a banker, I'd want to see this. Okay, if I was an insurance company, I'd want to see this, because it mitigates the loss to them, because that we can get up and running as quickly as possible because we got this plan in place. Okay. Some other things that we need to do is put together, what's your evacuation plan?
This is for something that's happening let's call it during business hours
Yeah.
rather than a storm that probably takes place outside.
Right, exactly. So let's just say something happens during business hours, okay? Communicate with others where you're going. Have a meeting area, okay? So, example, let's say we have a building fire, and all of a sudden we have talked about this, that we're going to go out and meet out into the parking lot next to us. We're located next to the Albert Lea Seed House. So our plan is to meet out in the next to the Albert Lea Seed House parking lot. Shelter, if we must take shelter quickly, okay? Let's say a robber comes in. Get underneath the desk, okay? Or if it's a storm shelter situation, believe it or not, we got the plan of the men going in the men's bathroom and the women going in the women's bathroom, okay, just to try to keep safe. And then how are we going to communicate, things like that. So, and then other things is how are we going to protect and deal with the cybersecurity?
That's big now.
Oh, it's huge. As a matter of fact, I was going to do a show on that, and some of the things that I would tell people about on that. And that's not only, on the business side, it can be so bad, and matter of fact, it can bankrupt a company.
I believe that.
But also, too, it can be some things that maybe a person at home could maybe take some information from, too. Have good backup, okay? I've got written down where is our backup system, okay, for our agency management system, okay, or our computers. Where do I go and get that? I have it all written down, okay? So we're not trying to figure out, where's this, where's that? I have it all written down here, okay?
Another big thing, Tom, you talked about it a little bit ago, but you mentioned computers. It's the biggest part of your business, being able to look stuff up, which would also mean, as you just talked about, a good backup system, whether it's cloud, whether you have two servers, one at another location so it's protected. Those are the things that protect you as a business and could protect other business owners.
Absolutely, and that's huge. I have a IT service provider who I feel is second to none in the area. I'm not going to mention any business names, but they have set me up to where I have backup systems that I feel very positive that I would be up and running in a matter of hopefully, if not hours, potentially a day or so.
Now, Tom, if there is a business or a person who owns a business that says, hey, you know what, my insurance agent has never talked to me about putting together a business emergency plan, what would be a great way to reach you to talk about that?
Well, first of all, they could call me at 507-377-2000, or they could also email me, or they could email me any questions about the show at insights@americanainsurance.com.
Tom, we will be here, as you said last week, same bat time, same bat channel for another episode.
Yes, and hopefully we won't have to use our business emergency plan in between time.
You got it. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Paul.
You've been listening to Insights into Insurance from Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is intended to be educational in nature. Before acting upon any information obtained during the Insights into Insurance radio show broadcast, consult an appropriately licensed professional.